Okay, I'm going to start to remove the circuit board. First of all, and all these pieces kind of line up, so it's not too bad. This comes out of here, and these come out here. This is the blue and the red wire. And one thing I noticed, these were awful loose. See how easy they came off? I'm going to have to squash these down a little bit. Make sure that they're tighter. Get some more light. We'll take the red ones off. See, way too easy. Way too easy. The other thing is, this one I moved the hot melt glue already, so that comes out. So that's all you got to do on that end. I noticed one thing here. See, there's a white and black. This was broken. I've seen a number of these inverters on YouTube, and this strap's always broken, so I replaced it. This is a UV one. Doesn't matter, it'll be inside, but it's solid now. Now for the other end, oh, we can't quite see it from that angle. But there's nuts and bolts here, and I'll loosen them up. And also take off the fans because they're hooked to the board. They just kind of slide out sideways, and then we'll be back. You can see the nuts a little bit better here. They're in there. It's easier to get to if you unscrew the fans first. And I forgot to mention, you should always turn the inverter on for a while with nothing hooked to it to help drain the capacitors so you won't get a shock. Okay, a little magnetic dish here, got on sale at Harbor Freight. Oh, less than a couple bucks. I put all the screws in there so I don't lose them. And you see they kind of slide out the side. Nice and easy. Now we'll do the other one. The labels face out, but the other way you can tell which way to put them in if you forget is just look at the holes. Some of the holes will have threads on them from the screws, and some won't. Well, the ones that won't go on the inside. I know the camera probably won't pick that up. It's not a macro camera, but stuck. Okay, these have threads. These don't. So that's how I can tell which way they go. Now, let's see. Now I can get to the nuts better. And what I'm using is a 10mm ratcheting type. It's a lot easier because there's not a lot of room in here. Yeah, one direction. And they unscrew. There's a nut and bolt. I just let the washers drop inside because I can get rid of, tip it over afterwards and get them out. And yeah, that's probably not completely necessary, but just in case, maybe just in case the capacitors have any charge at all. Wrap them with at least one of the things with a little tape. I usually bend the end over a little bit and stick it to itself. That way it's easier to get it apart. And we'll do the other one. Almost thought I was going to need a wrench on both sides of the nut, but I mean the bolt. Okay, we'll try to get some of this stuff out of here. Now, the way these work inside here, there's a stud in here, and the bolt goes in one unit, like that, goes through the stud with a flange, and then this is bolted on the other side with the lock washers and nuts and stuff. And we'll put it all together so we don't lose them. And I'll be back in a second. Actually, the other, I said how it went through the stud, the other red one was still on there with the bolt, so I got to tape that up too. Now, I'm going to flip this thing over. The thing is to do when you do that, you want to make sure there's two fans out of the way. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, there's a bunch of screws here you need to take out. They screw into the heat sinks. But before you do that, you gotta do this one, the ground wire. That screws through with a bolt that screws through with a spacer. Also, there's a bunch of spacers on these things, so you don't want to lose any of them. So you gotta be careful about that. Okay. The other way. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 screws unscrew. And that means when you're done, you want to have 9 spaces. So let me unscrew them and we'll get back to you. Okay. MOSFET. We'll put in the holes. These have already been desoldered and cleaned before. We'll get them in. Looks like they did a fairly good job of lining them up. They're a little bit bent up. Maybe we can do that. Let's take them out. A little bit. Could try that. A little high. That's about right. Let's see where the hole is. You're not seeing anything here. Okay. Looks like they go right to the tip. Now the thing is with this, what I did is I laid it down and it didn't line up with the holes. So I bent them up just a little bit so they would line up with the holes. The big thing is you have to screw them to the heatsink before you solder them. Otherwise there may be tension on it and you might crack the solder in the later. Okay, so that's not the right one. Okay, here's a lock wash. Now you don't want to over tighten these because these are plastic. See, I was able to start it easily with my finger. I know, I should probably use heat conductive grease, but they didn't originally. Okay, yeah. Now, let's move to the next one. Okay. Actually, we'll take off the heat thing out of the way. The heat sensor out of the way. So, I'm going to slide it in. That one actually is pretty good. Pretty good. Oh yeah. Real good. Okay, that one went in nicely. Okay, they're in. Now we just have to solder them. Hi, this is Dave from Class C Cat with my Beagle Pride and my Maine Coon Cat Cuddles. If you like my videos, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe for more mods, camping trips, and reviews. Thank you.